FNR.
To Italy, where Inter versus Roma has been mired in another racism controversy. The newspaper Corriere dello Sport billed the match with the rather tasteless headline Black Friday, depicting Romelu Lukaku going up against Chris Smalling. The article states, "To the face of the idiots who shout boo tomorrow, we should all say instead, oh, and in brackets, like children. There will be a great Black Friday, but not for sales, but for a Scudetto to live throughout the season. We look at Inter Roma through a personal challenge, considering the relationship, but also at the roles on the pitch of two colossuses of colour. They have learned to appreciate each other. They have taken strong positions against racism. They are symbols of two teams that, in contrast to last year, have 8 points more, and they don't want to lose them." It seems to be pitching itself as an article against racism, but just the way in which it's framed, the headline is so tone deaf and tasteless, and given the incidents, what on earth is going on in Italy this season?
What we are seeing in Italy is the result of a routine failure to adequately punish incidents of racism. Time and time and time again, not just this season, but for a number of years in Italy, there have been incidents of overt racism, particularly from ultras of respective Serie A fan groups, that have not been adequately punished. There has been leniency showed to these groups on occasions too numerous to mention. You have the opportunity to punish someone and say that is wrong, and you stand idly by and allow them to do it and give them a slap on the wrist, then you become complicit in this behavior and you allow it to continue to happen. And that is what we're seeing in Italy right now. We're seeing this headline. It's a poorly thought out headline. The actual message of the article, as Josh was telling me before, is a little bit taken out of context. But the headline, I think, is indicative of the casual nature in which things like that are viewed now. And that is a result of, as I said before, a failure to deal with these situations in an appropriate manner. Just quickly, there's been a lot of talk of Mario Balotelli leaving Brescia already after, 6 months at the club because he has absolutely no support. And what a shame. What a disappointment.
He's played well.
What a disgrace it is to have someone like Mario Balotelli. And I know he has his issues as a personality at times. He is a bit of a character. What a disgusting way to be treating a player that they no longer feel comfortable living in the country of their birth. They've represented Italy at a national level and they don't feel comfortable playing in their own home because of the way they're treated by their not just opposition fans, but at times by their own fans. It's disgusting.
We talk about it in Australia with the idea of casual racism. 90% of educated and reasonable people would stand up and say, hey, I'm not a racist, I wouldn't engage in these types of things, but I wouldn't say the same about footballing culture in Italy, especially with these diehard supporters where they feel the need to boo players of colour. It's the culture that's led to this incident. The incident itself, it's tasteless and it's tone deaf. The people who let the behaviour go are as bad as the people themselves, and I think this is a case of this. The fact that nobody understands the impact that something like that might have is completely absurd, and it's abhorrent, and the editor in question should stand up and apologise.
A lot of the racism in Italy is not like we see here. It is very overt and almost cartoonishly cruel and horrible, especially the booing in the stadiums and so forth. But then there's a whole other level, which is just a total lack of awareness, which is just as problematic. I think that's what we're seeing here. We can't pat ourselves on the back here in Australia with that kind of stuff as well.
The fact nobody was able to stand up and say, hey, that's not all right. It's that instinctual act to be like, that's not okay. Could not be a worse time for this to happen. And the fact it slid under the rug, from an editing perspective, as Lockie mentioned, just paints a broader picture.
If they'd asked, they could have had access to the players. They could have interviewed
Ask yourself.
Smalling and Lukaku. They could have gone about this in such a better way if they did really want to make a genuine stand. Could have been a fantastic feature and a real, bold statement to the Italian public in a really widely read sporting publication in Italy.
From what you mentioned based on the translation, it sounds like a fantastic article.
Strong message, right intentions, but just absolutely shocking execution.
But it's
and
that
clearly
execution
based on,
which is so worrying.
And clearly based on the stuff on social media from Lukaku and Smalling, they have really taken offence. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Remember to leave a like and a comment, and our favourite viewers will, of course, subscribe to the channel. Remember to hit the notification bell to get an update every time we post a new video. See you next time.